The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots. You up there, and wow. This is WTF Nation Radio, and this is kind of what we do on Friday nights. Appreciate y'all stopping by, and we're gonna just get right into it. I just want to start with a little disclaimer. Actually, I need to change the date on that damn thing.
I saw that. I was like, oh.
There's always something. All right, we are now in today. We're not in last week. Apologize for that. Before I get started, I'd just like to say that when we take a break tonight, there's a good chance that we're going to get disconnected. But don't worry, everything's going to get restarted and we're going to come back. This has happened 2 weeks in a row. I don't know what the issue is. I think it's a hardware issue with my machine, but we're gonna power through it.
It's the Gremlins. It's the Gremlins. You gotta just admit it. It's the Friday Night Gremlins, man. We just need a Gremlin mascot at this point. You know?
Well, you kind of had what is that? One of the Gremlin.
He's like trench coat flashing, man.
Trench coat flashing. Look at that.
Boom. Yeah, right there. Boom. Like take a look at my glory. Yay. All right. Cool.
Joshua, thank you very much for the kind words. We appreciate it. Thank you very much. Tell your friends. So right now, Ice and Spanky are on vacation. Flash is doing Flash things, not like Flash things, but Flash things.
Flash things.
Jose's out of the loop for just. Oh, did I say Jose? I didn't mean to say his name is not Jose. His name is Flash. But he's out, and Ice is on vacation, and so is Spanky. So they're going to return shortly. I don't know when, but they will return. They are safe. They are breathing. They are above ground. So
they're just scouting out our new bunker to broadcast from, pretty much.
Yeah, and we can't disclose where that is because that would be that would be a bad thing. So we might be disconnected during the break, maybe right before the break. I don't know. It usually happens about halfway through the show. So if we do a 2-hour show, it's usually right at about the 1 hour, right about the break time. Like last week, we went to break and then everything shut down. So I fired it back up again, and we came back without a beat missed. So this has been a brutal month. July has been a brutal month, and I'm not talking about temperatures and forest fires and stuff, but in the music industry, if you look at the musicians that we've lost, the list is pretty incredible. Some of these folks you might recognize, some of them you might not, but let me see. So we've lost Joey Jordison, who most of you will probably know if you're into the metal scene. He was the drummer for Slipknot. Dusty Hill, the bass player for ZZ Top. Mike Howe, vocalist for Metal Church. Now, Metal Church has a special place in my heart. I don't own all the Metal Church EPs and LPs and whatever, and CDs and ABC 123s, but when I was stationed at Fort Hood, I cannot remember the name of the club. But if you're driving, you know that shortcut country road, it used to be a little country road. Now it's like a 4-lane highway.
Starlight Station, or whatever it is now.
It's when you're driving. If you're going to Austin, you can go to the highway or the interstate, and then catch 35 South, and then go that way. Or if you're on Facebook, if you're on Fort Hood, you can take this. It was just a 2-lane country road that went through Florence, and then you would probably shave 20 minutes off of your drive. And anyway, right before you got out into that country part, there was this club on the left-hand side. It was a shithole club. I think it was an 18 and over club, and I saw Metal Church there. And they were cool. You know, it was way before they got big. And they were, no, it's not Porky's, David. But anyway, I saw, that was probably one of my first metal shows. And it was in that dive bar of a place. And Metal Church will always be in my heart. So anyway, we lost Mike Howe, who was the vocalist, for them. Jeff LaBar, the guitarist for Cinderella, passed this month, as did Gary Corbett, who was the keyboard player for Cinderella. So that's 2 band members from the band Cinderella that we lost this month.
Like, I have not heard. This is how bad the media is. Like, they'll post it and that's it. But for me, all I see lately is just COVID-19 shit. And I'm not getting this information now because all I'm seeing is COVID. COVID is driving me insane.
The Delta variant.
This is the news that I want to see, though. Like I don't care about no damn virus anymore.
I think we're kind of virused out. I've got a little bit of virus news. We'll talk about that. Some side effects, new side effects for the Pfizer vaccine, which is an interesting one, ladies. Anyway, two more musicians. The band Kansas lost their violin player, Bobby Steinhardt. And we would be remiss to not mention Biz Markie. So those are the artists that we've lost just this month. So it seems to me that heaven's about to have a damn nice concert.
As long as Ronnie James Dio is singing, I don't give a shit. It'll be the most awesome metal party on the planet at that point. But no.
Yeah, it just sucks, man. And, I don't know, what the situations were behind their death. I really don't care. That's all. It's titillating for some folks. Ooh, he was on drugs, or ooh, he committed suicide. Blah, 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 blah. I don't care. I'm just reporting. These are the facts, and I'm just reporting them. And just because I don't say that it was a drug overdose, or it was just they died in their sleep. Some of these guys are damn old, or were damn old.
Well, I know you're talking about band deaths or whatever it is, but I don't know if you're a metal guy. I know you're a metal guy. You see Iron Maiden's coming out. I think there's like 17.
Oh my
14,
gosh.
17.
Yes, I'm very excited about that.
Yes. Did you see the music video of that?
I have not, and it's on my list. After I do all of this thing, and then I publish the podcast, I dive off into YouTube land.
No,
that is definitely
check out The Writing on the Wall is the name of it, and it is the most metal music video ever. That's all I gotta say. It is animated. It gives you that heavy metal feel, but then you start watching it and you start seeing all the little Iron Maiden Easter eggs through all of it, and you're just like, oh, this is fucking awesome. Yeah, you gotta watch it. If you ain't seen it, man, I'm surprised you haven't seen it yet, man.
Hey, Heather, I just wanted to mention, we did mention Dusty Hill, who passed from ZZ Top. I didn't forget him. You can't. How do you forget ZZ Top? You can't. Yeah, they're definitely. Iron Maiden is another band that I was introduced to. We had moved. We moved around a lot when I was a kid. Not because my dad was in the Army. My dad was in the Army, but it was way before I was born. He's a businessman, so we moved around a lot, mostly around Chicago up to Wisconsin, over to Ohio, and Indiana, just kind of that little nook of the Midwest. So we moved from New Albany, Indiana, to Two Rivers, Wisconsin. And there was a new guy. I was the new guy, and this other guy was the new guy, and his name was Jeff Hilber. And his dad owned a pharmacy. He was a pharmacist, and he owned and operated a pharmacy. And so they were very well off. So, Jeff invites us over, and I'm young. I'm 10, 11 years old. And growing up in my family, my dad listened to ABBA, John Denver.
Sounds like my mom.
He listened to Neil Diamond. And it was always that was always playing in the house.
It's good. It's good music, but it's just not my cup of tea. If you want to put it in.
I'm telling you right now, for an emotional record, John Denver's Jonathan Livingston Seagull is probably one of my favorite albums. If you have, I mean, we had it on LP. I think it's 4 records long, A side, B side times 4. But it's such a beautiful album. It's really awesome. It's very emotional. I mean, that's not what I listen to now. But as soon as I went to Jeff Hilber's house, he had a jukebox in his basement. So here I am in my mind listening to AM radio with my parents and listening to John Denver and Neil Diamond and ABBA. There were other bands. Those are just the first 3 that come up. It wasn't a very musical family. It's just that's the music that they listened to. He had a jukebox, and he was playing songs from Black Sabbath and Ted Nugent and Iron Maiden, and I'm like Ozzy Osbourne. So I was just like, holy shit, this is awesome. I mean, the hair on my arm standing up. So I got to he lent me his Blizzard of Oz double LP set, and I brought it home, and I listened to it. Or no, was it Blizzard of Oz? No, it was Speak of the Devil. Speak of the Devil, because Ozzy Osbourne was on the front, sitting in a throne, and he had this blood and guts coming out of his mouth, and he had fangs, and it was just really cool. I really enjoyed the music, and my mom found the LP. It was in my record player. Yeah, we had record players. My record player.
I had one when I was growing up.
And I ended up coming back from football practice that afternoon. It was like 6:00. Normally, I'd get home. My parents would make me take a shower, and then we would sit down and eat dinner, and then I would be up till like 10, 11 o'clock at night doing homework. I was probably 12, 13 years old at the time, but I came home. And my parents were just like, so I'm like, okay, I did something wrong. My little brother wasn't talking to me, and he wasn't saying, guess what Mom and Dad found in your room? Because I had my own room in the basement. We had this, big, it was a 2-story house, but then we had a basement. My dad finished the basement, and I had my own room down there. And so I go down, and there's this box sitting on my bed, and my record player was smashed to bits and was all, including Jeff Hilber's record of Ozzy Osbourne. Everything was in pieces inside this box. They did not like the fact that I was getting into that kind of music.
Most like 80s shit I've ever.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I love that story because it didn't change my behavior, not even a little bit. Because I was always.
Your parents heard on the news that music was the devil.
That was right in the beginning of the trial, with Judas Priest going up and testifying in front of Congress about words in lyrics and stuff, and Ozzy Osbourne was brought up, for the song "Suicide Solution" and all this other stuff. It didn't. That song never made me want it. I just wanted to. It felt good. That music just felt good to me.
They did a study. They did a study a while back, and they've come to the conclusion that the most stable people of your generation, my generation, were the ones that listened to metal, like emotionally stable. And they can't figure it out because they said, "Oh, you're going to be violent. You're going to be this. You're going to be that." And it's like, I'm not a violent person unless you make me violent. But I mean,
there's many great humans in the world, but some of the best humans that I've ever encountered are the ones that I've been in the damn pit with at metal shows. It's cool. I like it. It's like, bikers. All bikers aren't assholes. Some of the nicest people you will ever meet on the face of the earth are a biker with the tattoos all the way up, and they weigh 300 freaking pounds. They drive this loud ass motorcycle. They're some of the most beautiful humans on the planet.
Yes, they are.
So don't never ever judge a book by its cover. But anyway, I don't even know where I was going with on that. Oh, so me and Jeff became really, really good friends. and he's the first. He's the first classmate that I ever had a beer with. You know, we got. You know, he had so much. It was great because I was raised in a very strict household. He was raised not in a very strict household. Jeff did pretty much
like a very liberal upbringing.
Extremely,
yeah.
And that's exactly right. And so me and Jeff became really, really good friends. And I mean, like, Jeff, can we go over to your house after school? No one ever wanted to come over to my house. You know, because my parents wouldn't feed my friends or nothing. You know, it wouldn't be like, hey, you want to stay for dinner? You know, maybe that happened a couple times, but I don't remember it happening a lot. I remember eating dinner at friends' houses a lot. So anyway, that's that.
I'm out in the chats right now, and there is a heated debate.
A heated debate on what?
Apparently, some COVID-related issue, and I don't honestly give a crap. I love y'all, fans, but talk about something different.
Let's talk about the Olympics. The Olympics is happening. It's really got very, very painfully low ratings. Not a lot of people like the opening ceremony. It was just like, meh, to see ya. So I'd like to start. If we just mask up again, it'll only be another 2 more weeks.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, 2 weeks. 2 weeks to flatten the curve. What we're at, almost 1,000 days later at this point.
It might as well be. Anyway, so we're going to talk about the Olympics, and I would like to start this Olympics discussion with a little video. Oh, the skateboards! Oh, such talent and rack.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm. Glad it finally made it to an Olympic sport. Huh?
You know, I think that the skaters were kind of horrible, but anyway, did you see that?
Drug testing skaters. All the good skaters are high on fucking pot, man.
Exactly. Actually, I'm thinking most of the good skaters, all the good skateboard folks out there, just don't want to be in there. They just have no.
They don't want to do it. They'd rather be in the X Games where they ain't getting drug tested. They could smoke their joint before they go skate. Man, come on.
So right, remember when we were talking before we went live? I mean, really, I contacted you. What was it? 8 minutes before the showtime. I was La La Land. I totally lost track of time. So what I ended up doing, my goal was to find out who this guy's name was. What country does he skate for? I have no idea. All I know is he racked himself hard, and I have no idea what his physical condition is. That was another one of the things I wanted to figure out. So poor fella. I mean, he's starting. It looks like he's right in the beginning of his run, and it's over.
That's my favorite part of watching people skateboard. That is literally, even though when someone fucking gets nut tapped like that, I feel it deep in my soul.
If he was look at where he hits. Look at where and how he hits in relationship to the rail. In relationship to the rail. If he had been about 6 or 8 inches higher, he might have ripped his scrotum off.
Oh yeah.
Ugh, that could have been a whole lot worse. And he hit the ground, and he's just like, "Oh darn, I hit the ground." But that's that propagation delay between getting hit in the nuts and then getting hit in the nuts.
Get up and run right afterwards, because those are the best ones, because you're running from the pain apparently. I watch a lot of skateboarding. It's one because I used to love skateboarding until I got too fat and started. Well, I won't say fat, but I just got big and I started snapping skateboards. So I quit. I was like, can't skateboard no more. But I like watching the kids at the skate park and stuff, and they do some crazy stuff like that, and it's just like natural instinct for them to just instantly get up and just start running like a chicken with her head chopped off. And I was like, I could never figure it out. Are they running from the pain, or is it like a primordial like fight or flight instinct at that point? Never could figure it out.
Or maybe that's what they, hey man, if you rack yourself, just get up and run. Maybe it won't hurt as bad, or
walk it off.
Walk it off. Walk it off. Suck it up. You know what I was, and here's another Kaz childhood story. I was interested in skateboarding when I was young. I had a BMX bike. I was pretty damn good at it. I could never. My parents, we weren't in a situation where I could have the Diamondback or the Mongoose, so I just had a regular, like not a Huffy. It was like a Schwinn bike.
Schwinns were good back in the day, man. What are you talking about, man?
They're definitely good, but they were heavy. They weren't as light as the Diamondback or as cool looking as the Mongooses were. Now you can walk into like Walmart and you can buy a Mongoose at Walmart.
They're just junk compared to what they used to be.
They're
played around with
so
them.
much better now. So much better. So anyway, I told my parents, I said, hey, I'd like to, it was like, hey, Santa Claus is coming. What do you want for Christmas? So I said, hey, I'd like to learn how to ride the skateboard. I'd like to learn how to ride the skateboard. That looks like a lot of fun. All the kids are doing it. So for Christmas that year, I did get a skateboard, but it was like this Master 360. You could do unlimited 360s on this skateboard, and it was like a banana board. It was horrible. It was blue. It was ugly. It wasn't cool looking. And that same year, my grandmother bought me an AC/DC Back in Black cassette tape. No. It wasn't Back in Black. It was for those about to rock, we salute you. She had no idea what it was, and my parents were pissed off at her.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got this banana board, and when I say banana board, it was like it was a curved skateboard. The wheels, of course, touched the ground. Both of the wheels touched the ground, but it was like curved like a banana. And the selling point of this skateboard was you can do, you can ride it like a regular skateboard but if you flip it around and you want to do 360s all the time, or a lot of 360s at one time, you can flip it around and it's easy to do. I never got very good at that skateboard. Oh, turn on your microphone if you're going to talk to me.
Oh shit, my bad.
Webco. Webco bikes? I've never heard of Webco or Stroker.
I never heard of that either. No, that banana board thing I'm seeing, we were talking about is like that. That to me, that's not a skateboard. Like, I have a huge skateboard collection, which I still need to get hung up on the walls here. But I'll get around to that.
Did you Google banana board?
Yeah, I looked it up. I know exactly. I knew, like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, man, I played around with those and try to break your ankle.
Yeah, I wasn't good. I don't know if I wasn't talented enough. Or coordinated enough.
My first skateboard.
I think I was plenty. I think I was plenty coordinated enough, but I just didn't want to be seen in public with that fucking skateboard, so I didn't get good at it. So, I'm a left foot forward person. Does that make me a left-footed skater?
No, because I do that too. I see, like, I had a little cousin of mine when he was skateboarding, and he would skate goofy. It's kind of like where your foot's in the back of the board. I'd always put my foot in the front of the board, but he would skate with all of his weight on the back of the board, and I could not figure that out, like how he pulled it off. But some people skate like that. Me, I was all my weight up front because I used to do crazy tricks like what you call an acid drop, where you just jump off a building and throw your skateboard underneath you at the last minute and land it, pretty much.
Oof.
And
Musa,
that's why I was snapping skateboards.
Musa Al-Swani says, I had to save up money for years to buy my first bike. I get it.
My first bike, this is a crazy story. My mom put in for a raffle at a local grocery store. She wound up winning, and it was a little 20-inch Huffy bike that was awesome. Best bike I ever had.
I had a Schwinn bike with it had a banana. Maybe my parents had things like for bananas or whatever, because I had this. I didn't have like a regular butt seat. It was a banana seat, and I had that big bar in the back that you could lean back against, because I like to do wheelies.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're
dude,
talking about.
you could wheelie.
It's like a bitch bar kind of on a motorcycle.
Yeah, but dude, I could wheelie for miles. I would wheelie all the way to school. I would ride my bike to school, and we probably lived about a mile and a half away from school, and I'd just get on Menasha Avenue in Manitowoc, Wisconsin, and just wheelie all the way to school.
At that point, you might as well just have a unicycle.
So anyway, there's that poor guy. I don't know who that guy's name is, but
Busted his balls, man. Busted his balls.
I hope he's okay. I really hope he's okay. It didn't. I mean, I hope maybe he just maybe he gets a restart. I don't know what the rules are. I really don't know what the rules are as far as Olympic skateboarding.
I didn't really look into it. It probably follows like the same guidelines as like
Spanky's here. She wants to see the video.
Show her video.
Okay. There you go, Spanky. I hope they brought him like snacks and stuff in the locker room when he was trying to recover from that thing. He doesn't look like he was very willing to do that again. But I'm sure if you're in that position, if you're competing at an Olympic level, you've probably cracked your nuts a couple of times.
The coolest one that I got out of that whole thing was, I think she was from Tokyo actually. The 13-year-old girl took gold.
For skateboarding?
Yes. I might be wrong on that. I could have seen something along the lines, but there was a video that was floating around a long time ago. I think it was like 6 years ago, of this like little girl skateboarding, but she was wearing like a what's that Disney princess little fairy thing. What's her name? Spanky's gonna kill me because of this.
Tinkerbell?
Tinkerbell. She was dressed in like a little Tinkerbell outfit. She's skateboarding around, doing like acid drops and ollies and shit, you know. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool, you know. But
some people have that talent. Some people have that talent.
You gotta be small. That's the trick.
Like a low center of gravity.
You gotta be small, like Deer Dick. He's a tiny guy.
Tony
no
Hawk.
offense, Deer Dick.
Tony Hawk's kind of short, isn't he?
Yeah, you gotta be just a small stature. Those old OG skateboarders are just tiny dudes. As simple as that. Because like I told you, I started hitting a certain weight. Like I sprouted up when I hit about 13 and started putting on weight like crazy. And also I'd be doing tricks and all of a sudden the skateboard just go snap or snap. Because I've had one snap upwards and that wasn't fun. I got pulling splinters out my freaking chode. But
so let's talk about, the reason I used to watch the Olympics all the time, just because I like watching the Winter Olympics because I like the downhill skiers when they wreck. I enjoy watching speed skating. It's been a long time since I've watched the Winter Olympics, or any Olympics for that matter.
Curling. Curling's my favorite sport out of all the Olympics. I don't care what anyone says.
Have you seen the memes? There was a group of like 5 or 6 guys. And they all got dad bods, and it's like this gold medal Olympic curling team looks like a bunch of guys got together and they just ended up being in the Olympics.
Yeah, it's like you don't like, it's like bowling. You just don't get into professional bowling. It just happens upon you. You know, you just curling. I see it the same way. You know, you're just like you like, it's like the dad garage band thing that kind of forms up. Hey, you play bass, you play drums, cool. Let's get together. Next thing you know, all the local dads got a little drum band going on in the garage. Well, that's the same with curling at that point. You know?
So like here's
one night and like, let's try this shit.
So curling. Let's talk about curling for a second, because I've got a story. Another Kaz and his friend Jeff Hilber story. When I was young, Jeff was a huge part of my he was the quarterback, and he was just the cool kid. All the girls liked him, so we always had a lot of friends. When it's like I didn't have friends, but Jeff had a lot of friends, so I, like, by proxy had a lot of friends, but they like mostly paid attention to Jeff. Anyway, his dad was a member of a curling club up in Wisconsin when we lived there. And
Wisconsin-ish.
So we would sneak in. He was kind of connected, so he had keys. So we would go to the curling club when it wasn't open and no one was there, and we would go curling. That's how I learned how to curl. And we would like drink beer or take beer from the curling club, put it in the back. My jacket had a zipper across the back. And we were probably a half a mile away from the mall, so he would load the back of my jacket up with bottled beer. I have no idea what brand it was. And we would go to the mall. And in the mall, we would go into the bathrooms and sit side by side. Like, he would be in one stall, I'd be in the next stall. And we'd just sit there and smoke cigarettes and drink beers. And then walk around the mall fucking drunk teenagers, man.
This is so... 80s.
It is. It is. This was mid 80s. Yeah, 83, 84, 85. I graduated in 87. So yeah, 83, 84, 85. Jim Handy says curling, the sweeper is just the fluffer.
Fluffer.
The fluffer. So let's get on to Olympic news. I have a very interesting Olympic story. You ever heard of Eric the Eel?
Oh, I have not.
He's an athlete. He's an athlete
Eric
from
Eel.
Eric the Eel from Equatorial Guinea.
That sounds like a lifter name.
He's not. He's a swimmer. Eric Musambani. Eric Musambani Malonga, born on the 31st day of May 1978, is a swimmer from Equatorial Guinea, nicknamed Eric the Eel by the media. Musambani won brief international fame. This is my kind of guy here. He won international fame at the 2000 Summer Olympics for an extremely unlikely victory. Musambani was an Olympic swimmer who had never seen an Olympic-sized swimming pool before. He swam in smaller pools. Apparently he was good. So he tried out for the Olympics. They accepted him on the team for Equatorial Guinea. And he competed. His competition, his forte was the 100-meter freestyle. Just for reference, the average swimmer should be able to complete the 100-meter freestyle in 2 minutes. That's you get a 50-meter pool up and back, 100 meters. Olympic swimmers get it done in less than a minute. So a normal person, whether it's male or female, can do it in 2 minutes. Just a regular person. An Olympic level swimmer can get it done in less than a minute. The world record is held by Brazil's Cesar Cielo, of course from Brazil. He's the current world record holder, and he swam 100 meters in 46.91 seconds.
That's insanity.
That is so fast. I don't even know if I could walk up and back in that.
Let's just call him Aquaman at that point.
So Eric the Eel swam his heat of the 100-meter freestyle in the unprecedentedly slow time of 1 minute 52 seconds, 0.72. This was the slowest time in Olympic history by far, and Musambani had trouble even finishing the race. But he won his heat after both of his other competitors were disqualified due to false starts. Musambani's time was still too slow to advance to the next round, but he set his personal best record and set a new record for Equatorial Guinea. He then became the coach of the national swimming squad. I think what makes this story great is he didn't give up. He did it.
Like the Cool Running story, man. It's kind of like the same concept no?
Right?
I know a lot of these. I've said this a couple times to people. Is a lot of these third world countries don't get into the swimming as well as the first world. I'll say first world countries or whatever. They don't have Olympic swimming pools. They don't. And it's just kind of that's this crazy part about it is. Yeah,
you don't have the funds. I mean, dude, your country can't feed their own people.
Yeah, exactly. So when you see like U.S. You see the U.S., Japan. What's Russia called now? This time around, it's the ROC or something like that, because they're not allowed to compete with their country or whatever it is because of a doping scandal. All these big nations that can afford it, and then you got these little nations. You never see them on there because, I mean, hey, Jamaica has a bobsled team,
and it's a joke within itself.
It's sad to say it though, but yeah, but then again, you look at some of the countries with the marathon runners and stuff like that. I don't know if they've done the marathon stuff yet, but I saw one guy, he did a marathon, some world record crazy. It was like under an hour and 56 minutes or something like that.
I've got the details on that guy. I've got the details on the marathon stuff.
That is insanity at that point. Huh?
So let's talk about Olympic records. And that's what I'm like, okay, let's just talk about, let me see some Olympic records here. So as far as men go, 100-meter dash. Who do you think is the world record holder for that guy?
That's Usain Bolt at that
Yes,
point.
sir.
Yes, that's Usain Bolt at that point. Huh?
Usain Bolt from Jamaica did 100 meters in 9.63 seconds in the 2012 Olympics in London.
He's running at like the speed of a cheetah at that point almost.
He was also a member of, I think it was like a relay team. He was the last dude, and he just freaking tore it up. And they ended up he's got a couple of world records as far as track and field goes. So in the marathon for men, Samuel Wanjiru from Kenya ran a marathon in 2 hours and 6 minutes and 32 seconds at the 2008 Olympics in Beijing. That's pretty amazing. I mean, 26 miles in 2 hours. When I was in air assault school, I think we had to do the 12-mile road march in 3 hours. Road march.
This is the Dragon Challenge at Bragg. I think it was, you had 3 hours minimum to do it in, and I'd always do it about like 2:15, 2:30 kind of time frame. I mean, that you were walking at that point. Nice steady 35 pounds on your back. That's chump change at that point. You see people falling out of that shit out of you, laughing at them.
I was always, when I was in the Army, I always sucked at running. I really am horrible at running, but I can road march my ass off. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's an oxygen thing. Just because you just got to keep going as far as, when you're marching, when you're walking. I just can't. I can't run. I can't run.
That's
I'm not
my
a good
two
runner.
favorite things to do is run and rock. Now I couldn't do push-ups for shit. No? I don't know what it was. I had a hard time doing push-ups, but
So
I'll rock and run all day long.
damn it, Jim Handy coming out with the weird ass trivia here. Sperm comes out at 27 miles per hour.
I read some weird.
Tyreek Hill from the Chiefs just recently challenged Usain Bolt to a foot race. What, 100 meters, 50 meters?
Where was I saw that one time a long time ago? A sumo wrestler challenged one of the NFL guys, and it was like the sumo wrestler lost by like a fraction of a second. But just to see this 350-pound, 400-pound man get up to that speed like that, it was mind-boggling.
They're not just fat dudes, man. They're fit fat dudes.
Well, I watch. That's another thing that I love to watch. Is I like what's it? NKR or NRK Tokyo. Their big broadcasting syndicate out of there. I love watching the sumo wrestling every year. The sumo wrestling. I'm all about that shit. I love it.
We'll see.
Nothing like seeing two fat men just slap their skin together.
Slapping them cheeks, not cheeks, but you know what I mean. So where'd I leave off? Okay, marathon was Samuel Wanjiru from Kenya. So the high jump. This is insane. The high jump world record is held by Charles Austin. He's a USA athlete. 2.39 meters, which means nothing to me, but doing the computations, 7.84 feet. The high jump.
It's a straight vertical jump.
Yeah.
Dude, if you do the math on that and calculate body mass, say shrink him down to the size of a flea, he'd probably be able to launch himself out of orbit with that amount of force.
It's insane. It's insane to me. These athletes you watch it on TV and it's just, what you have is a bunch of people that are equally talented and they're racing against each other, and it looks like it's so close. And it is so close among the people that are that talented. But if you take a gymnast in high school that's maybe had a couple of gym classes, and it's just like there's no comparison. There's absolutely no comparison. Or you take a sprinter that's in college, that's just he's got some kind of an athletic scholarship because he's kind of talented. he in no way can compete on the Olympic field just because these folks do nothing but eat and sleep training and diet, and it's amazing to me. It is completely amazing to me, and I'm just flabbergasted at the things that these people can do. So let's talk about long jump. The long jump for men. Bob Beamon. This is the oldest long jump record. This is the oldest world record. Bob Beamon from the USA did the long jump at 8.9 meters, which is 29.19 feet. He did it in 1968 in Mexico City. 29. I mean, like you're running and you jump and then you land in the sand, and that's when
insane. Talking about a long jump, I've seen an article. They banned it in Olympics, but there was a guy who was going to school. I can't remember what school he was going. I think it was out somewhere in California somewhere. Don't quote me if I'm wrong on this, but he was going to school for physics, but he's also on a track scholarship.
Okay.
And he came up with this idea to run, but while he was in the air, do a flip.
Okay.
Kind of like a front flip, like train himself to do the front flip. He was breaking records with that. The first time he did it, he was already insane. But they banned that technique from the Olympics and all track, professional track field, because it's just dangerous as shit. Because if you flip wrong, you're gonna snap your neck. But
I'd say, hey, this is a risk that you're willing to take. You've already signed the disclaimer or whatever.
Yeah, there's a whole documentary on this. The weird YouTube rabbit holes you fall into sometimes. I was just watching this shit. It's like this dude just comes out running and he just flipped and landed during one of the track meets, and the judges were like, "Is that legal?" Well, there's no rules against it. Well, he just outdid everyone at this point. And eventually they outlawed, or I won't say outlawed, made it by law or whatever. But you get what I'm saying at that point.
It just seems to me that you're jumping in the air and then you compress your body, which exerts force, and then it's like you have this much more force going forward. I'd say let it happen. Bring that back. I want to see.
Cool to watch.
I want to see people just jump as far as they freaking can. I don't care how they do it, as long as they launch at the line, not beyond the line, and then land in the sand, wherever the last part of your body to hit. I mean, backwards is where you're measured at. I don't know why.
The first time he tried it, he messed up a little bit, but then he went out. I guess you get 2 tries or whatever. Okay. The second time he went out, he landed it perfect, and it had everyone kind of he had practiced it, the whole run through it. When he went out to the meet, and college meet or whatever it is, and he busted it out. He smoked the competition just doing it. He wasn't even really that good at doing it. He was just like I said, he was a physicist, and he just kind of. If skaters do their little spinny thing, maybe I could do the same thing. And he applied it. He figured it out. He drew it out. He thought it through, and he landed it. And it was they wound up banning it, I think, a year later or something.
We can't have this. So how about females? We've talked about the guys. Let's talk about the ladies. Everybody knows this woman's name. Florence Joyner, 100 meters. 10.62 seconds, world record, 1988 in Seoul, South Korea. FloJo.
Usain Bolt at that point.
Yeah, I mean, that's FloJo, man. If you ever heard the word FloJo, that's her, Florence Joyner. The marathon, Tiki Galina from Ethiopia. You know what? Whenever I see the Boston Marathon or Olympics anywhere, long distance running, it's someone from Ethiopia or someone from Kenya is going to win this shit. Am I wrong?
No.
So Tiki Galina did the 26 miles in 2 hours, 23 minutes, and 7 seconds at 2012 Olympics in London. High jump, Yelena Slesrenko from Russia. 2.06 meters, 6.75 feet. 2004 Athens. So that's taller than me. It's almost 7 feet. Long jump. Everyone knows this. I'm assuming everyone knows this name. I know this name. Jackie Joyner Kersey from the USA. 7.4 meters, 24.27 feet. 1988 in Seoul. So the oldest record for track and field as far as females go is Ilona Slupaniak from East Germany. Shot put 22.41 meters, man. She hucked that damn thing 73.52 feet.
Oh,
That's an 8-pound. It's an 8-pound shot, and she hucked that damn thing 73 feet.
that's insanity. Like, I think the the smallest bowling ball I think they make is a 6-pound.
Yeah, kids.
Most people start on an 8-pound, so that's like chucking an 8-pound bowling ball. That I couldn't even imagine trying to pull that off. I couldn't even do it. So we got a female. I think it's a hammer throw. I don't know if you've been watching that. That woman is a beast.
Is this the woman that's she smoked dope and she couldn't compete?
No. This is not that was God, who was that?
I was going to talk about her, but it's just it's whatever. The rules are the rules. Just lay off the pot.
Pot's such a performance enhancing drug.
I think Joe Rogan said something like, if you can beat everybody else and you're smoking dope, how bad could it really be?
Didn't what's his name? Phelps. Michael Phelps. He got hit up real big because he was sitting at the college party at the Olympics. I don't know if he was in a college party or whatever, but he was sitting there smoking out of a bong, and he lost his sponsorships from Kellogg's and all kinds of crap because he just smoked bong. He wasn't even in the Olympics at that time. What's wrong with that? See nothing wrong with that. Smoke all the pot you want.
Yeah, but I think if you're going to compete on the world stage, as a world-class athlete, it doesn't matter that you're a skateboarder and you smoke dope. It doesn't matter. The rules are there for a reason. The reasons might suck, and they probably do suck. But hey, you can't pick and choose.
Olympics, I'm pretty sure all the snowboarders have to take a hiatus. Take a massive hiatus for the Olympics.
So Bob Bulow, I love this. He goes, back when the East German men's and women's team were interchangeable.
I don't get the reference.
Oh, dude. Yeah, and this goes along with the Russian doping things. Women just getting pumped up full of male hormones, testosterone, so they can compete. Get bigger muscles and whatever. So
fuck it. Just let all performance drugs legal in the Olympics. Let's see how far we can take humanity at this point. Huh?
I saw a tweet that was extremely funny. What was it? It was about the triathlon.
Oh, was it the hippo one?
No, it was about triathletes they don't know what events they are. There are 3 events, but everybody participates. It could be like 3 random things. I really wish I remembered what the hell this tweet was. If anybody remembers, just put that in the chat. It was just like it's sign up for the triathlon, and then you find out what events you're going to be participating in.
You'd be like shooting or throwing hammers or what? Just a random.
Just a random. Sign up for it, and then you'll find out. Sign the contract, and then you find out what you got to do. So
you just gave me an idea. You just gave me you said that my brain went somewhere else, but it was kind of similar. You ever see that Tough Mudder competition?
Yeah, that's tough.
Why is that not a Olympian sport at this point? Huh?
They kind of have it. It's not really a steeplechase. It's kind of. It's not. It's just. It's.
You're not running
it.
through like electrified tasers and climbing through. Yeah, no, this stuff's supposed to try to kill you at this point. Like tires flying at you in the middle.
I
want
to see people up there in a sniper's nest with a paintball gun. If you get fucking shot, you're out. Or it adds 10 seconds. 10 seconds to your finishing time, or something like that.
Yes.
Make it enjoyable for the audience. So I did. We are getting close to the break. I've got 6 minutes. I know you probably got to go to the bathroom, but let's talk about Simone Biles. She's made the news because she pulled out. She pulled out of her competitions because of mental health reasons.
Well, she got the twisties.
I don't know what that means.
I was reading an article about it, and I've like when I was reading it, I've experienced it before, but it's you got this like twitch reflex muscle memory kind of thing when like gymnastics and stuff have it. But because her brain is not in the game, she's her fear factor is kicking in. So when she goes to do like flips and stuff like that, her body just forgets what it's doing because
I got
it's
that.
a mental. I have no problem with like, I mean, if you're like, hey, I can't handle this on a mental level because, you know, I'm an Olympian and I can't handle it on a mental level, then you're not really an Olympian, drop out. I got you on that point. No, not trying to be like mean or anything like that, but I'm just saying.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about Simone Biles for a little bit. When she pulled out, there was a lot of hate and a lot of support coming out for her. I'm going to paraphrase an article from the Times Now News, and then I'm going to give my opinion. Simone Ariane Biles is a senior American elite gymnast born in Columbus, Ohio, and she was raised in Spring, Texas. She's only 24 years old right now, and she has a combined total of 30 Olympic and World Championship medals. Biles is the most decorated American gymnast and is regarded by many to be one of the greatest and most dominant gymnasts of all time. She had a very unstable childhood in Spring, Texas. She was traumatized when her biological mom left her and her 3 other siblings. They struggled in foster care homes when finally in 2003 her maternal grandparents adopted her. The scars of her lonely childhood never left her. In 2016, Biles wrote in her memoir about how her mother suffered from drug and alcohol abuse. Her mother's impression led her to a very dark childhood where she never felt that she had support and she never had her mother's shoulders to lean on. Simone was always into athletics as she was growing up, and she trained hard to keep herself fit. As a result, she developed strong biceps and a very bulky, muscular figure. This didn't go well with her schoolmates, and she became a victim to their bullies, all the bullies that she would encounter. Therefore, she wore clothes like full sweaters, jackets to cover her arms. Therefore, she never really felt comfortable in school. In 2016, Simone's personal health reports were illegally accessed by some hackers and were made public. The reports mentioned that Simone was suffering from ADHD. Okay, and she was on medicines for that same. Simone took to Twitter and she said that having, quote, having ADHD and taking medicine for it is nothing to be ashamed of, and it's nothing I'm afraid to let people know. In 2018, Larry Nassar, the team doctor to a number of gymnasts, was accused of molestation by more than 100 female gymnasts. Simone Biles was one of those complainants who exposed him. She said his actions brought suicidal thoughts to her. His cruel, mean intentions questioned her energy and her strength. A number of athletes talked about depression during the pandemic, and among those was Simone Biles. In an interview, she mentioned that she had no work for 7 weeks. In that period, she felt depressed, and she came across thoughts of quitting the game. And then she told herself, "I wanted to give up, but it would have been dumb because I've worked so hard to get where I'm at." Biles always kept a match-winning attitude. From health problems to personal issues, she encountered them all with courage and dignity. Since childhood, she has been physically fit, but her mental fitness is a thing. And it is a thing. It made her question her life time and time again. In order to fight that, she once again took a bold step to focus on her mental health in the midst of the Tokyo Olympics this year. The internet exploded with both insults and support for her. Now, here's my statement. Sure, it's disappointing that Simone won't be competing, at least in the team event for this year's Olympics. She is a fan favorite and brutally competitive athlete. She's taking time out for her mental health, and she shouldn't be ashamed for it. Nobody should be. I don't care who you are. For anyone saying that Simone should just suck it up or keep her head down and drive on, it's time for you to realize that mental health is health and is just as important as seeing your primary doc. Simone is still there in the stands in Tokyo cheering on her team. Some of the media are calling her a hero. Is she a hero for doing this? I don't think so. What I will say that she is definitely very in touch with her internal barometer. And she made a very, very difficult decision by withdrawing from the competition. This was a smart move on her part. I don't know what her demons are like, and I'm not judging her negatively for doing so. Did it take courage? Fuck yeah, it did. I wouldn't call it heroic, but man, it's just, she has been through a lot. She was feeling a mental break. She didn't think that she could commit to the team or contribute to the team as much as she needed to win the gold. So she pulled out. Dude, if you need a break, take a knee. There's no shame.
Take a knee.
There's no shame in taking a knee.
There's a reason why so many veterans commit suicide, because they just don't. I mean, we were taught just like rub dirt in it, drive on, go for broke, and sometimes you just need to be like, I can't, the pressure's too much. There is this old saying, the straw that broke the camel's back. And you don't let your stress break your back. Take a break, step back, reassess the situation, get your head right, and then go back at it. Take 4 years off. She got plenty of time. Get your head straight and come back in the game, win a couple golds for us.
Musa Oswani says, I feel that if she needs the help, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Thank you for saying that. I don't think that there's any shame. There's no shame at all for asking for help. You need a break. And let's step back from the Olympic field or the professional field. There are, and this is countrywide, and I've witnessed this myself. My daughter danced competitively ever since she could pee in the toilet. She started her dance classes, and as soon as she could compete, she competed all the way up until she graduated high school. There was so much stress on these girls in her dance troupe. This is what she wanted to do, so that is, I mean, some kids like to play softball. Some kids, young men like to, play football. And there's this dream, we're going to hit the big time, and he's going to be an NFL quarterback or running back or whatever. There's so much stress on these kids that it's just when during the interest in being a gymnast or the interest in being a softball player or the interest in being a competitive dancer, when do you lose sight of just being a fucking kid? Get with your friends, head out to the mall, go whatever kids do. But no, it's always my daughter was, and this is my personal experience. It wasn't just 3 or 4 or 5 dance classes a week. It was 3 or 4 or 5 dance classes a week in addition to workouts on Saturday, workouts on Sunday. They have to do fundraising stuff and wash cars and stuff just to lessen the financial burden on the parents. And I do see this a lot. And some of my coworkers have kids that are now playing soccer. Soccer is pretty huge here in my area of Texas.
Oh, yes, it is. Texas soccer is a big thing. You don't don't knock soccer in Texas.
But there's so many. I mean, you can compete on the scholastic level, but then there's other like soccer squads, and parents pay shit tons of money to have their kids on these soccer squads, and there's just so much pressure on these kids that are freaking 14, 15 years old. Dude, let your kids be kids.
I 100% agree with this. I've seen so many parents push their children into what was the best word for it? The dream that they failed at, they never felt that they achieved. So let's push my child into. It's a self-fulfilling process at that point for the parent, and sometimes you just gotta let your kids be kids for just a couple seconds. Let them decompress. You know, like give them a day of the week. Be like, hey, do whatever the hell you want, eat whatever you want, be a kid. You know, enjoy yourself. You want to go hang out with your friends? You want pizza?
I was always happy when my daughter would invite her friends over, her dance friends over, for because those were really like the only friends that she had were the girls that she danced with, and we'd have like a big sleepover at the house. So I'd have like probably 8 or 10 freaking teenagers in my house. I'm like, do you want a cake? Do you want a pizza? How much soda do you want to drink? How many movies do you want to watch? Have fun.
You were a good parent then at that point. Enjoy yourself. I'll rent as many movies as you want. Just
I was so supportive as long as she wanted to do that. And my younger daughter, she danced as well because her big sister danced, and they're separated by 2 years. And so she danced for a while, and my older daughter, of course, danced from the time that she got off the toilet or got out of diapers until she graduated high school. My youngest daughter, she danced until the time she could pee in a toilet, and she did that for a few years, and she's like, Dad, I don't like this anymore. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to finish the year, because she danced competitively as well. We're going to finish the year because you don't want to let your team down. You've made a commitment. You got to meet your commitments.
Yes, meet your commitments. Yes.
And then, okay, this is my last year. Goodbye party, and we're all still friends, and that's it. It's not like we just, pop smoke and left. But man, yeah. But anyway, here's this tweet from this a user, Joanna. Simone Biles may not see your comments about how she's, quote, playing the mental health card, but your friends will see. Your friends who are suffering will, in silence, will. There's lots of folks out there that are suffering in silence, and they're just keeping their head down, and they're driving on. And
a lot of people are starting to realize this. I was talking to a friend of mine the other night. He's like, I'm reassessing where he's working at this point. Just give it a. He's like, I'm looking at my retirement plan. I'm figuring everything out. He's my age, so he's like, I have to work at this job until I'm almost 72 years old to just break even and be able to retire. And he's like, I need to change something. A lot of people are starting to see this. They're starting to wake up to it. Like, I can't just keep breaking my back over the same repetitive thing. I need to take a break. I need to let my brain. Self-care is the most important thing right now. I wish people would start just like, be selfish for change. It is a hard thing. People I'll tell you, being selfish is a bad thing, but sometimes being selfish is good. It is good. Because if you can't take care of yourself, you can't help anyone else around you.
I'm guilty. I'm so guilty of this because I love my job. I believe in our mission, and I will bend over backwards just to make us succeed as a group, and then in larger context, the company. We do a lot of research and development, and it takes a lot of manpower. It takes a lot of dedication. So, and here I am, here on the air live, justifying my work ethic and trying to make myself feel better about this. But I put in a fuck ton of hours. I mean, there are, and there's always the memes and whatever online. It's just like, if I died today, they'd replace me in a week.
Your job replacement ad would have hit it before your obituary would. That's the way it works.
And that's probably true. I mean, I've got a special set of skills. There's very few people that can do what I do, and I do it for a company that I love. And if I were to have a fucking coronary tonight and die or be hospitalized,
please don't.
I'm not. I don't plan to. No one ever plans to die, right? But I don't think it would take my company long to find someone or someone else who I supervise or whatever would step up and fill my shoes. We're very fast learners, but you got to take time for yourself. And I actually took a week off, and I've never, ever done that. I really don't take vacation. I'll take the vacation at like a 1 day at a time or 2 days at a time, but I actually took an entire week off. I didn't really, and I did that to work on my house, and I did that. But
That's good though. That's
self-care. I
Like,
felt
you
bad.
took a break and you dealt with yourself. You stayed at home. You didn't do anything. You might have had some pizza or whatever you do, but you worked on your house. Shit that's been sitting in the back of your head, bugging you while you're working, is taken care of now. You don't have to worry about it.
I think it's a matter of I think it's really good mental health just to take time off and do something that you don't normally do. Whether it's go ride a bike down a bike trail or something. My daughter took a bike trip. It was a bike trip in Idaho, in between it was on the border of Montana and Idaho, and it was from the I can't remember what the Indian tribe was, but it was like it was a train. It used to be a train route, and it's now open to the public. You pay dollars and you ride this bike route. It's 16 or 17 miles long. A couple of miles of it is like through like train tunnels and stuff, through mountains. It's like really awesome. But she's just like, I needed a break. So me and my boyfriend went and did this. Something that you don't normally do. Don't stay at home and just mow the grass and work on your house. Get out and do stuff. And, Owl he preached this a lot. And I believe it, but I don't do it. It just sucks. I'm very hypocritical in this. I think that I'm saying that people need to take a fucking break from what they normally do and do something else. Just break that monotony of.
This is why I preach fishing as a meditation.
Fishing is awesome. I like to fish. I haven't fished since I was a teenager, really.
Yeah, there you go, man. That's like, you need to pick it up, man. You were in prime area up there in Texas, man. There are all kinds of alligator gar and all kinds of stuff that you can fish up that way, man.
Man, I see you kind of fidgeting and stuff, so I think we're going to take a break. This has been a great first hour. I didn't get to any of the stories, and we're going to come back. Hopefully we don't get like logged off or anything. If we do get logged off, we are going to take a break right now. It's going to be, let me see, how long is this break? 3 minutes, almost 4 minutes. So 8 minutes. We're going to be on break for 8 minutes. I hope you all return and come back, and we're going to have like a really great story-filled rest of the show. So thank you all for being here for the first half. We really appreciate it, and we'll see you in a few.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Where I'm from, that's called a
WTF Nation Radio.
Before the day that I
This is WTF Nation Radio.
we can't play Metallica. What are they doing? It's a good intro song, though. I like that. Disappear by Metallica. Go get it at whatever your record store is, or download it online. Oh my gosh. Oh, we're back. Okay, we're back, everybody, for part 2 of Friday Night Freedom. We got out of control, but I liked it. I'm very emotional about mental health, and I'm really glad that we had that discussion. But I kind of want to switch gears.
Got to change it up a little bit.
I got to change it up a little bit. This is Rona related. So I hope it doesn't. But this is the cool kind. All right, just for those who missed the first half, here's the nut shot from some skateboarder guy. Wow. All right. No. So the sign at the on the window at a Huntington Beach restaurant might require a double take. Instead of masks must be worn signs that became very commonplace around California in an effort to stem the spread of the coronavirus, the sign taped to the window at Basilico's Pasta e Vino reads, "Proof of being unvaccinated is required." So I had to read the story.
How do you prove?
How do you prove you're unvaccinated? It was the first thing. I'm like, how do you? Oh, this guy's just being a dick, which is great. I really like the way that this person's being a dick. So the owner, Tony Roman, said that he's willing to pledge his restaurant as a, quote, constitutional battleground. He says, end quote, "We have never complied with any restrictions since. And when the tiny tyrants go on the attack with new mandates, we fire back, launching new missiles of defiance. And with the new and aggressive push for mandatory vax policies, we couldn't resist. So we are sending a message of our own. Hopefully, most are smart enough to read between the lines. Otherwise, we will just sit back and have fun watching their heads explode." So I applaud this guy, man. But it's unfortunate that the government will probably hammer the restaurant with new restrictions, maybe fines, maybe yank their liquor license if they don't fall in line. I don't get it.
This is why I don't agree with licensing. I don't agree with it.
I think that you should be qualified to serve alcoholic beverages. I don't have a problem with that, but I don't.
Safety course once every 5 years, but to have to maintain a license, because the day your license expired, all of a sudden now your alcohol is blowing up in your bar.
And all of a sudden you're not qualified to recognize someone who has been overserved. Let's say overserved. So is it? I really think that, and this is happening, and it's really prevalent in. And I've got another story that, and all of this is happening, and it's blue states, but they're calling it in the media. They're calling it like violet states, like you're kind of red, but you're kind of blue. I can see that, but I think the government in these conditions are wielding too much supposed power.
This is my big argument. Since when ever has the CDC had the ability to enforce shit?
Never.
So,
but they have the ability. They have the ability to influence decisions by people who have the power to,
Yeah, but that's the thing. Is like the CDC is now mandating. Okay, you're the CDC. Fuck you.
And I do see this coming. I mean, I talked to my doctor. I had a VA appointment Thursday. What day is today? Today's Friday. I had a doc appointment yesterday. And I asked my doctor, I'm like, okay, do you think that Pfizer's going to release a booster shot? And he says, absolutely yes. He doesn't think that it's going to be in the near future, but he thinks that maybe 1 year to 18 months, a year and a half after your second shot, or maybe like 2 years after your second shot, is when they're going to recommend, and everyone can, and we've got, our Weed Brothers, we used to have the Green Room show, both of these guys still in touch with them, and they're all very, very libertarian, and they're very down on big pharma making money and so on and so forth.
100%. I think pharmaceutical companies should be banned from advertising, period. If tobacco companies cannot advertise, pharmaceutical companies should be. They push these drugs, and then like a year later, you're seeing, if you've taken this drug within the last year, you're entitled to a claim, like the 3M earplug bullshit.
To be FDA approved, it goes through so many hoops. You got to jump through so many hoops, have so many studies, and there has to be unrelenting evidence in the benefit of whatever this drug is. But then, like you said, a couple of years down the road, you see the, hey, if you've taken this, or if you've used fucking talcum powder on your cooch, and you got, some kind of cancer or whatever from that, you might be entitled to, compensation. So all this litigation goes against these big pharma companies. And then what do? They settle out of court for like $1 billion. But guess what? They've got 30 or 40 other $1 billion in their pocket. So I think they budget for these lawsuits. You have to
put my tinfoil hat on now.
Let's put that thing on and wrap it around tight.
All right. So over the last, let's say, 4 decades, they've been pushing all these vaccines out, and now all of a sudden, all these weird drugs are popping up. Like, you got this disease, you got this, things that you've never even heard of, all of a sudden are popping up. This is what I think is pharmaceutical companies have been pushing these vaccines out that might help you in the short term, protect you from this specific disease, but then the long-term effects are like IBS or whatever, or the weird rheumatoid arthritis and stuff. And then these same pharmaceutical companies that are pushing these vaccines out are now profiteering on the fact that they created these diseases and pushing pills out to people, which then causes more side effects that they can push more pills out to people.
Isn't that kind of like the VA?
Oh, this is 100% the VA.
You've got pain, so here's. And this has changed. I don't want to throw the VA under the bus. I've really had, personally, I've been out a long time. I've had a lot of really good experiences with the VA. I don't have anything real to complain about. I've had extremely awesome experiences with the VA. I go and see my primary every 6 months. He checks me out. Dude, I've got some amazingly. He said I had amazingly low. You should see my diet. My diet is horrible, horrible.
Me too.
but he says you have amazingly low cholesterol. You have really, really good cholesterol levels. It's almost as if you're on cholesterol controlling medications. He goes, "You're not seeing another doctor, are you?" I'm like, "No, you're my doc." He's like, "Okay." And then he goes down the list because, I go there and I peed in a cup, and they took like 17,648 vials of blood out of my arm. It's like it never stopped. It's like one vial after the next. I lost count. At
that point, there's vampires sitting there taking shots of your blood behind the counter. You don't realize it. Huh?
Yeah, whatever, as long as I don't pass out. But they're like, we tested you for everything. Normally, at a man your age, you should be showing signs of some sort of diabetes. You're good, like a 20-year-old person. I'm definitely not 20 years old. I'm like, okay, I'm thanking my father for really good genetics, because I don't make a conscious effort to take care of my body with the food that I eat. What I do, the only thing I eat a sausage, croissant, whatever, Jimmy Dean croissant with sausage and cheese. I have that for breakfast in the morning.
It's man's breakfast, 100% of man's breakfast right there.
I drink a glass of orange juice. I have a cup of coffee.
But you don't smoke.
I don't smoke.
For you.
I do imbibe. But then I for lunch I will have I do go to have right. I just jinxed my cholesterol. He said on YouTube. Sin.
Oh, we got listeners on YouTube.
Hey.
Congratulations, you're like one of the first.
I don't think I've always had very good cholesterol, and it's not like I'm trying. I just don't. So anyway, I have the sausage croissant thing in the morning with I drink a juice, and then for lunch I do have a salad. What I eat is a Caesar salad, chicken Caesar salad. Dude, I've done this for years, And it sucks because I feel like I'm in a rut as far as my lunch meal goes. And
if
then
you eat consistently, someone told me if you eat consistently, your body balances it out. That's I don't know if it's true or not, but you might be onto something like some secret diet there. Just eat the same shit every day.
eat the same shit every day, your body will compensate. Because for dinner, I have no pattern. I might eat the Lord's chicken over at Chick-fil-A. I might go to Whataburger and have a big ass burger. I might go to Five Guys and have a burger. It's always, or I might come home and barbecue. It's always I'll barbecue and a steak or something. The weekends, it's no holds barred, just whatever the fuck I want to. My omelets my pan is not big enough to hold an omelet, so I'll have like scrambled eggs with like 6 eggs, and I'll fry some sausage or some bacon and maybe throw in some spinach and tomatoes or whatever, and I'll pour some salsa over that and then some fucking cheese and just have a good time. So I think I'm kind of blessed with good genetics. Some folks don't have that. Some folks don't have that. No, Sin, dude, over on YouTube. I don't exercise. I do work hard at work. My job is physically strenuous, but I'm 6'2". I weigh a little over 200. So I'm not obese. I guess if you look at Army standards, yeah, I am. But
according to the Army, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna chapter your ass out. I'm like, motherfucker, come on. But that's where I'm at. So where are we at here on these stories here?
All I know is that every male on my dad's side of the family has died from a stroke. So I know that's what's going to happen to me at this point. So I don't even give a crap at this point.
Okay, stroke is is that an arterial blockage in the brain?
Yeah, it's happened to pretty much every male. Going back at least, I don't know.
Light beer it's Miller time.
No, I don't like Miller. I mean, we all drank though. That's the thing too. So I mean, that might be it too. But
my
who
grandfather, knows? my grandfather was a smoking motherfucker, dude. Every time in my memory of him, he would always have there was either a cigarette in his hand or there was like a glass of whiskey. Old Polish dude. The guy died at like 89 years old. The problem is he had dementia.
Oh, that's another thing that kills in my family is dementia and Alzheimer's. But I've got the best genes on the planet at this point. I'm playing Russian roulette. I love it.
So I think it's a really good thing. I mean, if you don't go to the gym or something, get out. Don't be sedentary. Get out and just take a fucking walk. Take your dog, put him on a leash or her, and walk around the block. I used to weigh a lot less when my daughter lived with me and we had her dog with me. And every day when I came home from work, as long as it wasn't too hot outside, I would go and take him for a walk. And I think and that was probably a good mile or so. So I think that kind of physical activity or whatever, you got to sweat some. I've got a friend of mine at work that was hospitalized just because, he's a sedentary person and he's a diabetic, but he has sleep apnea, and his complication was he's always had a cough. I've known him for 20 years. But recently, at the beginning of like the coronavirus thing, where they were like, "Hey, this virus is going around," he started coughing, and there was like my boss is like, "Oh my gosh, dude, you're coughing. I want you to go to the doctor to make sure that you're not coronavirus positive and whatnot." And this is way back in the beginning of all this bullshit. The thing was, he has sleep apnea, and there's this really weird connection of the evaporation of water in his body while you sleep. You evaporate a lot of your hydration while you sleep, but he wasn't allowed to do that because that motherfucker would actually like stop fucking breathing while he was sleeping. And this happened for so long that all this fluid was building up in his lungs. So he had this cough, and he would just cough and cough and cough. Go to a
Getting like
doctor.
pseudo pneumonia almost at that point, huh?
I really thought it was pneumonia, but this guy was actually drowning on his feet. But it wasn't pneumonia. It wasn't infected. It wasn't an infection. He was just drowning because he wasn't exchanging the moisture out of his body through his breathing, because his breathing fucking sucked. And he's not a big guy. He used to be a really big guy, but he got diagnosed as diabetic, and he actually ended up being one of those folks that would like drop weight. It was hard for him to keep up weight just because of his diabetes, and then the drugs that he was on and stuff that the doctor put him on. So anyway, he got stuck in the hospital because they took 40 pounds of liquid out of his system.
Holy crap! So it was his kidneys not. It sounds like his
kidneys weren't working because it's one of those things where it's not a post hoc fallacy. It's not like this happened because of this. It was one of those, this happened because of this, and this happened because of that, and that happened because of this. It was a whole line of medical issues.
Completely like system failure at that point. 100% system failure at that point.
Yeah, I've got no medical knowledge on this, and I was kind of thrown back when I texted him. I'm like, dude, are you coming back to work? And he's like, hey man, I was in a hospital, and he sent me this whole text, and I'm like, okay, all of this. So I've been accused of snoring. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna fucking be next. Oh God, what am I gonna do?
This is why I like purposely. I do this on purpose. People think I'm fucking crazy doing it, but it could be like 100 degrees out, 60% humidity.
Yeah.
I will just sit outside and just sweat.
That is, and he said the exact same thing. He said, all you have to do is just go outside and sweat. Just do something. Walk around the yard. Take a walk around the block. You don't have to do anything super strenuous, but you're going to sweat and it's going to evaporate, and then you're going to feel thirsty, and then drink some more water, and then this cycle continues. And it's just this constant flow of moisture.
People don't realize your skin and your sweat glands are a natural detoxifying system of your body, like equivalent to the kidneys at that point. So all you gotta do is just sit outside and sweat for it, like just look like an idiot sitting out there sweating, and all the neighbors looking at you like, why this asshole sitting outside in the heat when he could be in the air conditioning? That's what I do. I'll always do it.
So I've got my temperature thing on my computer says, oh, he is 94 right now. It's 8:38 p.m. Right here in Texas. The air quality index is 126, and that's bad because it's in red. It sucks.
Ain't you getting smoke from the fires coming down there towards you now?
We have some pretty amazing sunrises and sunsets, and some random ass thunderstorms that are just. It's crazy. It's like you'll have blue skies, and then this pillar of rain that just goes.
That sounds like Texas.
Yeah, it just sounds like Texas. So, have you taken the Pfizer any vax? Have you been vaxxed at all?
No.
Are you against
I ain't
the
touching
vax?
that shit.
I
cannot. They couldn't pay me $10,000 to get it right now. They could.
Okay, I'm going to ask you, how come?
Let's see. It's the first. What's that? mRNA vaccine. I'm probably saying it wrong, but it's one of the first ones. It wasn't really tested properly. It was rushed. No one knows the side effects of the things yet, and it's like a massive. I'll say. Do you remember back in the 60s, 70s? They did the Tuskegee experiment in Georgia with the African American men that tested syphilis. I don't trust the government. I just don't.
Okay.
So
I get that. So do you get a flu shot or tetanus or anything?
I get my flu. I'm not an anti-vax guy.
So you're not okay, and this is where my point is. You're not anti-vax. You're just. It's not like you're.
It's specific. I don't want to be a guinea pig.
You're not refusing. It's just like you've looked at the data and you've made a decision.
Yeah, I'm using what little bit of like critical thinking I have left in his brain after a couple TBIs, and
Fair enough. So there's like this shame campaign for people who like, oh, you don't want to take the coronavirus vaccine. Oh, you're anti-vax. No, motherfucker. People are just like unsure, or they're like, I'll get my flu shot. I'll get my, shingles or whatever, tetanus. But this one seems kind of shady. The coronavirus vaccine, it doesn't matter whether it's, Pfizer, Moderna, or whatever. This just like, they just want to see how people react to this. There's an interesting, this is a very interesting side effect that from the Pfizer vaccine. Women who have had the Pfizer vaccine are reporting an unexpected side effects, claiming that their breasts have grown bigger after having the shot. Pfizer is one of several vaccinations currently being rolled out in the fight against COVID-19. Common side effects from COVID-19 vaccines include pain at the injection site, headache, fatigue, or feeling flu-like symptoms. But many women have noticed that their breasts and lymph nodes have swollen after receiving their jabs, both in the first one and in the second one, dubbing the effect as the Pfizer boob job.
There's your side effect. I've heard about the lip node thing. I've heard about one of them causing heart enlargement. It's just like to me, I ain't gambling with this shit. I ain't doing it. Sorry.
In the United States, where the vaccination rollout is further along, doctors have reported an influx of newly vaccinated women making mammogram appointments. Dr. Laura Esserman, director of University of California, San Francisco Breast Care Center, said women were confusing swollen lymph nodes after having the vaccine for signs of cancer. So it's really good that women are checking their stuff out and then going to see a doctor if they find or if they feel something not good. While it's not clear how long it takes for the swelling in some women's lymph nodes to go down, it's an important note that this is a temporary effect. It will go away. Well, Karen says, sounds like it's something that someone is trying to get to go viral so women will want to get vaccinated.
But that could be a thing too. But no, this is legit. My mother is about to have back surgery in a couple days, and she had to go through a whole like screening process, and one of them was the mammogram thing or whatever it is. And the first thing the doctor asked her before the mammogram was, have you gotten your vaccine yet? She's like, no. She's like, okay, good. Because they have noticed that lymph nodes swelling, and there's this weird side effect of the lymph nodes in the female. I don't know if he's even male, both male and female, but this lymph node swelling is a common side effect of this vaccine at that point.
So what I'm wondering, and I typed this in and it didn't take, what I'm wondering is, are there reports of men getting bigger boobs too? I don't know. Musa Alzwani, thank you very much for being here. I hope you come back on future shows. We're here on what's today? Friday. We right now most of our staff is on vacation, so right now you get Tuesdays and Fridays. But then when everyone comes back, when the team is all assembled, we will have shows on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. So thank you, Musa, for being here. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to derail you.
Oh, no, that's good. No, I saw someone in here. I was at Cliff Soko. He said, get vaccinated, folks. Vaccines save lives. Yes, I totally agree with that. I'm just skeptical of this one, period. And that's
fair.
My personal
I'm
opinion.
skeptical.
And I'm allowed to hold my opinion on it. And I mean, I really think I've got problems, real bad problems in my hand. I really think the anthrax vaccine gave it to me. That's my personal belief on it. I was
Okay.
forced to get an anthrax vaccine because I was in the military. I don't know if there's any scientific truth behind it, but I believe it. But hey, what's the whole term? My body, my choice kind of thing.
Where did that fall off? My body, my choice?
My body, my choice. Like it's just it's simple as that. Everyone was arguing that 5 years ago. Now when I say that, people's heads explode. So
All right. So you want to get off the corona thing?
please, because
Okay,
before I
yeah.
start getting-
I can double guarantee you I've got no Rona bullshit for the rest of the show. Wu-Tang Clan.
nothing to fuck with.
Nothing to fuck with. One of our ex-hosts, Jay Reddy, big fan, big supporter of Wu-Tang Clan.
Me too, man.
You know who else was a big fan of Wu-Tang Clan? Martin Scarelli. Does that name ring a bell? Martin Scarelli? Or his name has his name like fallen off everyone's radar?
It might have, man. Like my brain ain't picking up on it right now, so you might have to explain this to me. I might know it in.
Look at this guy. Look at this. I'm just gonna say this. He just looks like a dickhead. So his companies, and this is just a backstory. His companies bought the patent for the drug called Daraprim. Daraprim is used to successfully treat toxoplasmosis. Toxoplasmosis usually involves only mild symptoms, if any, in a healthy person. But it can be deadly for immune-compromised people such as pregnant women and those with HIV/AIDS. They bought the patent for this drug, and then they jacked up the price 5,000% and sold
Tar and feather this fool.
and then sold a lie to hedge fund managers that it was, quote, good for the patient. The pills used to be $13.15 a piece. He jacked that price up to $750 each. This is a life-saving drug for some people, and he jacked that price up.
This is why I hate big pharma.
So he's been nicknamed a pharma bro because his demeanor.
He needs to learn how to use a razor. That's all I got to say.
So he was convicted of securities fraud, and he's in his third year of a 7-year sentence. So there's the backstory. There's the backstory. Here's the way the story reads. A one-of-a-kind album by the hip-hop group Wu-Tang Clan that was once owned by notorious Martin Scarelli has been sold this last Tuesday by the U.S. government, more than 3 years after Scarelli forfeited the album as part of his conviction for securities fraud. He had a fuck ton of money to pay back. So he had to sell his one and only. He's got the only copy of this. It's never been released. The buyer and the sale price of the album, called Once Upon a Time in Shaolin, were not revealed Tuesday by prosecutors who cited a confidentiality provision in the contract. But the Brooklyn, New York attorney's office said that the proceeds of the album sale were well more than enough to satisfy the remaining of $7.4 million in a forfeiture judgment against Scarelli. Peter Schoolidge, a New York attorney who says that he represented the unknown buyer, said in a statement, this is the most interesting deal I have ever worked on. 38-year-old Scarelli has been ordered to surrender the unique album and other assets, which we'll get into, to satisfy the forfeiture. Those assets had included Lil Wayne album. I'm really sorry if I'm pronouncing this wrong. The Carter V. I don't know if it's the Carter V or the Carter 5. The Carter V.
5.
Is it 5? An engraving on paper by Pablo Picasso and $5 million held in an E-Trade brokerage account. Scarelli's trial lawyer Benjamin Braffman confirmed that the balance of Scarelli's forfeiture was more than satisfied by the sales. He also said that I can also confirm that the sale price was very substantially more than what Mr. Scarelli paid for it. So Scarelli bought the Wu-Tang Clan album at an auction for $2 million in 2015, giving him the only copy of the record and allowing the New York City resident total control of whether anyone else could listen to the music. What a dick move, man.
Dude, like, straight up, this dude's a dick, man.
Dude,
Dude,
let me go back to look at this guy. Look at this
that
guy.
shitty fucking PFC fucking after, like, he woke up, like, didn't shave before fucking motherfucking piece of shit.
So
Look at him. He didn't run that goddamn route. I would make him dry shave. The tar and feather his ass and send him out.
He looks, to me, he looks like someone who's never been punched in the face.
Dude, exactly. Like, I look at him and I just want to punch him in the face.
So
I don't know if you've ever met people like that where you look at them and they're like, they just need punched in the face. But I can't do it because it's against the law. So, I mean...
I don't know. I don't know this guy's backstory. I have no idea what his, when he went to college, what his friends say about him, or his
daddy for everything up until he graduated from college. That's exactly it. I know the story on this.
I don't think he's earned a thing in his life. I think he was propped up and then made some decisions. The dude's, I mean, look how young this guy is. He owned several companies, and he's made millions and millions and millions of dollars.
Can we make tar and feathering like a thing again?
Just ass beating. Just ass beating. I mean, it doesn't need to be a dollar amount. Just fucking send somebody in there just to punch him in the face.
I do it for free.
So here's my thought about this. Since the sale of these assets more than satisfied his financial debt, I wonder, this is Kaz speaking, I wonder if he's going to have access to these excess funds after he's released from prison. Since the sale of his Picasso and the Wu-Tang Clan album and all these things more than satisfied, and this is the release, more than satisfied his financial obligation, is he going to have control of that money after he gets out of prison?
Probably not, because you can get you can have your house foreclosed on you even though you own it because of property tax and not see a dime from it.
But if they say you owe I'm just going to throw him a number out there, $5 million. If you pay into that $7.5 million, do you get change?
Shit.
Do you get, if you pay for something for $20, if something's $20 and you pay with a $50 bill, do you get $30 and change? Since he's
the government. It's the government. You think you get money back from the government?
Well, the government, the court system said, hey, dude, you owe this amount of money, and the sale of all these assets was more than what he was told that he owed. Does he get change back?
I'm pretty sure a little worm like him, he looks like a worm, by the way, will probably sue the government for whatever money that he owes back and get it. Because, look at the dude's face. He just has it all over his face. I'm a dickhead. All over his face. So, this is a prime example, like I said earlier, if you've never met someone that you just felt like punching, this guy right here, that smug-ass look, he needs a beer bottle on the back of the head.
If he's walking around downtown New York, just someone, he goes to get on the subway, someone just fucking kick him in the nuts.
Exactly. That's like, pow, kick him in the nuts. That's the face that you're walking around and 3-year-olds start kicking you in the shin. You were that much of a dickhead.
The U.S. court system said, here's your punishment, and and he's in prison. He's in prison in Pennsylvania right now. He's going to get out. His sentence is 7 years. He's been there for 3. So maybe a couple of years he'll be out, and that'll make the
they
news.
Normally, only serve about like a third of your, not a third, like a 3/4 of your sentence on stupid
Yeah.
blue collar bullshit like that. And
Federal prison, that's got to be tough, right?
oh, I'm pretty sure the way his smug ass face be looking, I'm pretty sure he got visited by a couple guys. Never mind, he probably don't need punched in the face.
Yeah,
I'll step back on.
He's been fucked in the butt, I'm sure. All right, let's talk about computers. Why would Kaz talk about computers? I have no idea. Well, yeah, I do. You want to buy a PC? Great. On sale. Alienware Aurora Ryzen Edition R10 gaming desktop. I've actually looked at this PC. I like it. I think it's sleek. It's awesome. It's got all kinds of cool shit. But Dell is no longer shipping energy-hungry gaming PCs to certain states in the United States of America because they, quote, demand more energy than local standards allow.
Let me guess, California.
That's one of them, and this is another one of those. When someone called them purple states. All these other states are like, oh, we need more environmental regulations. This is what you get. You can't buy what you want because of environmental regulations. Customers seeking to purchase, for example, this Alienware Aurora Ryzen Edition R10 gaming desktop from Dell's website and have it shipped to California are now presented with a message that tells buyers that they're pretty much out of luck. This product cannot be shipped to the states of California, Colorado, Hawaii, Oregon, Vermont, or Washington state due to power consumption regulations adopted by those states.
So see, now this is where a black market forms.
I got in touch with Raptor 7. And Raptor 7 used to live in Reno. I'm like, dude, does this kind of make you want to move back to Reno and just buy this PC and then black market it to California? He's like, absolutely.
Because it's selling for $1,800, pretty much, give or change.
That's not a bad price.
I throw a $500 transport fee into these states.
I suggested that he goes back to Reno for 6 months, lives in a hotel, and sells that for probably, $2,500 is a fair price.
I had I think $500 extra tax.
$2,500 plus shipping, or if you're going to personally deliver it, like if you've got a panel truck.
I could see the freaking California State Highway Police pulling people over.
We're gonna search your vehicle for ammunition that actually has lead in it, and the Alienware Aurora Ryzen Edition R10 gaming desktop.
This is so stupid. This is the clown world shit that I talk about all the time. This is clown world right here. This thing right here. It makes my head hurt.
Okay, so we're down from that story here. So, have you ever met a petty motherfucker?
Plenty. I'm petty sometimes.
I'm kind of petty too. Sometimes I'm petty. Sometimes I'm not. Most of the time I'm not. I'm kind of even keel. But man, Jason Kidd. When I say Jason Kidd, what does that mean to you? Anything?
Nothing.
Do you watch NBA at all?
Oh no, I don't. The basketball bugs me because the whole time I'm listening to it, all I can hear is sneakers squeaking. So
oh
it's
my
like
gosh,
an 80s
right
thing to me. So I can't do it.
Okay, so Jason Kidd. Let me get this little slide back up here. Jason Kidd played basketball in the NBA. He was named NBA Rookie of the Year. His first season with the Dallas Mavericks, along with Grant Hill. From 96 to 2001, Kidd played for the Phoenix Suns and later the New Jersey Nets from 2001 to 2008. Kidd was a very strict, very hard-nosed coach with the Bucks. He's the coach he was the coach for the Milwaukee Bucks from 2014 to 2018, and brought an interesting coach tactic that punished the rest of the team for a single player's mistake. Group punishment, right?
Best punishment.
So check this out. If a player slipped up during practice, Kidd would make every other player run sprints while the player who made the mistake sit on the sidelines and then watch his team run sprints.
That's how my basketball coach used to do things. Holy crap.
My wrestling coach used to do that too. The tactic would instill physical punishment on the team to encourage players to hold each other accountable, while using psychological punishment on individual players to promote a more urgent mental focus. Sounds awesome. Kidd was a really good basketball player. He's a very talented person. So here's where the petty comes in. Jason Kidd reportedly punished the entire Milwaukee Bucks team because one player out of the whole squad had an Android phone. The rest of the team had Apples. One person had an Android phone. It messed up.
Team has a decent piece of equipment, and the rest of them have some Chinese piece of shit.
He said it messed up their team chat. Their team text message chats or whatever.
I told the coach, I was like, I would literally look the coach right in the face and said, "Fuck you, my shit's. You're the reason why this shit's fucked up, not me."
So Jason Kidd is now the coach of my Dallas Mavericks. Now he's back in Dallas as head coach. Mark Cuban is still the owner.
Androids are better than iPhones. Everyone knows.
You know what? I don't have an opinion. I used to have an iPhone. I've got an Android now. I can't see the difference. I really can't see the difference.
I mean, technically, they're like Samsung copied the living hell out of the iPhone. I'll give you that. But they have made some. Well, Android is different. That's an operating system. Samsung and iPhone are like this, and yeah, I think the Samsung's way better, man. You need more than one button to control shit. 3 buttons, 4 buttons, 5 buttons is great. You got controls on shit.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've held an iPhone. I like my Android. It's over there charging right now.
So we went down to Texas back for that ghost adventure down there in Texas.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, the Texas. Woof.
Where was it at? I can't remember. But
R.I.P.
Yeah, Fallon handed me an iPhone, and I was like, "What is this disgusting shit?"
Oh God!
Get this shit off of
me. Oh, that's funny. You just don't like. You don't get into it.
I was okay. Mac. I love Macintosh computers up until they took the X11 terminal off of the operating system. X11 would emulate a pure Unix Linux system to where I can pull any repository in onto my computer where I can just install free shit. They took it off. I was like, "Fuck you, Apple! You're pieces of shit," and never wanted to deal with them ever.
Wow. I don't pay too much attention to it. When I buy a phone, and I'm getting ready, I think maybe within the next year to upgrade my phone. It's probably going to be through T-Mobile, who is my carrier, and then I like Android. It's just easier to use, but for no particular reason. It's just easier for me as a user. I don't care that you can mix tracks. You can mix tracks, or you can broadcast and go online with this and broadcast live, like on Facebook or Discord or Twitch or whatever. I don't care about that. I just like the ease of use. as long as it's easier to use, that's me.
No, they brought them Motorola Razrs back. If you,
What the hell
you
is
just want
that?
to use a phone to use a phone.
No. I do appreciate the smartphone thing, because there's a lot of times at work where I'm in a quandary, like, oh my gosh, what part do I need to make these things mate or whatever, and I can Google a part number or whatever, and it's just super easy. It's easier, I guess, for me with an Android. I don't know. I don't know. It seems easier to use my phone, my Android phone, than it did with my Apple phone. Another thing that I didn't like about Apple is if you want music, you got to do iTunes, and it took me months to get all of my music from iTunes into an MP3 that I can import into my Android, and then it stays on my computer. If I want to change it, I can. Whoop, it's just like a file swap. I don't want this. I do want this. It was great. You can't do that with Apple, and that's pretty much my bitch, because I love music. My musical tastes change.
What do they call it? Proprietary bullshit. That's why
Yeah.
I don't like it. I hate it.
And I've got my Google search thing. I was going to search something. I forgot what I was going to search for. So, hey, man, I think it's about time for us to get out of here.
That'd be the time.
It'd be the time.
It's 2 minutes to midnight.
What? Oh, that's I really appreciate your Iron Maiden reference. Shutterbug. The older we get, the closer we come to Shutterbug. I used to go.
Shutterbug's like the old people phone. I got
Yeah. I mean, really. I mean, you upload a phone. You can print out greeting cards and.
Just imagine what our Shutterbug is going to look like compared to the current Shutterbug.
I guess I'm closer to whatever that is. I have no idea. Hey, y'all. Thank you all for hanging out with us. We got shows a lot. Right now, it's just Fridays and Tuesdays with a pop culture warrior, CQ. He's always got some great guests, man. We don't have any guests lined up right now. Maybe in the next week or two, we're going to have some. So check us out. Go to U.S. Army WTF Moments and check them out. If you're not a fan of U.S. Army WTF Moments, check them out on Facebook. Check them out on YouTube, man. They got a lot of funny ass videos, man. Dumb private videos. Just great videos.
Standard Army video.
Just Army videos. Just
If you spend any time in the U.S. Army, you should follow U.S.
Sean
Army.
Calloway. Sean Calloway says, "I may have to get old, but I refuse to grow up." Really, I appreciate that so much.
Child. I am a man child too. I will never grow up. Fuck it. Toys R Us kid right here. Boom. Simple as that.
If someone asked me like at work, "How old are you?" I'm like, "I'm pretty much like 20," but I'm not. Anyway, everybody, thank you very much for hanging out with us. We love you, and always come back.
This is WTF Nation Radio.
Wear a condom? We're in Fayetteville. No one gets STDs here.
The voice of U.S. Army WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Is it necessary for me to drink my
Radio. WTF Nation Radio.